Today I'm turning someone else's trash into my new craft stash. Yes, trash into stash. I'm on the hunt for craft supplies, heading to every local thrift store in my area in just 4 days. There's 22 stores to search. Let's see what I can find. So I had this idea. What if I could visit as many of my local thrift stores as possible in just 4 days on a mission to hunt down craft stash? Will I find classic card making supplies, vintage ribbons and trims, or something unexpected? The possibilities are endless. Oh, and of course, I'll be creating with whatever supplies I find. So what am I searching for? Well, I do want to keep an open mind, but I do think I need a list. Something to keep me focused. After all, I will be creating with the supplies I find, so I do need a bit of a game plan. Here's what's made it onto my thrifting wish list. My crafty universe centers around paper, so it has to be my number one. Let's hope I can find some pretty patterns to create with. Item number 2 is vintage lace and ribbon, and I'm guessing these won't be too hard to find. I really love the texture that these elements add to all kinds of papercraft projects. There was a time when scrapbooking brands would release ribbons that coordinated with their new collections, and that doesn't happen much anymore. So I'm really hoping to find some to build back up my ribbon stash. Item number 3 is buttons, because I'm obsessed with them. I've always had a thing about buttons. I don't really use them much in my scrapbooking, but I do love to add them to my junk journals and mini albums. And I do have a bit of a collection going on, so I'd like to add to that. Item number 4 is a craft tool of any kind. Ideally, a paper punch, but a stencil or a template or even a stamp would work. Now, item number 5 is a little bit random. It is a little golden book. I've always wanted to transform one of these into a junk journal, so I will definitely be on the hunt for one of them. All right, I have my list. Let's hit the shops and see what I can find. 22 thrift stores in 4 days? What on earth was I thinking? I totally underestimated just how time consuming this would be. So many of the stores were in those standalone locations, so I spent a lot of time traveling from one to another, and the supplies in some of them were quite unexpected. This field trip did not go to plan in so many ways, but it was still a lot of fun. It's funny because I go thrifting quite a lot, but I've never focused just on craft supplies. And based on what I've seen from Facebook Marketplace, I thought there would be an abundance of supplies to be found. I thought my wish list was so achievable. I was so wrong about that. Some of the stores I visited didn't even have a craft section. And when I spoke to the volunteers, they mentioned that they don't accept craft supplies at all. Then there were other stores that clearly had space for these kinds of supplies, but the drawers were practically empty. I can't tell you how many times I got excited thinking that a drawer would be full of options, only to find it bare. It really has me wondering, why is there so much on Facebook and nothing in the thrift stores? Where do the excess papercraft supplies go? I was so surprised I couldn't find a single working paper punch. Not one. On the last day, I found a simple square punch and I got excited, but it was all seized up. So definitely trash and not treasure. I also only found one pack of 12 by 12 paper, which for some random reason had been cut in half and put into a mystery bag of sorts. Curiosity got the better of me and I had to buy it, and I'll use that paper in the projects I create today. The other interesting thing was the prices. They were so inconsistent. There was a box of stamps I found that were not that great and they were marked at $30. crazy. I wanted to love this so much, and I know there's joy in the search, but I'm just not sure it was worth it. I love the goodies I found, and I have a couple of very special finds to share with you. I'll give you a full haul here in a moment. I don't think I'll be doing this again. It really did seem like a treasure hunt, and I'm still not convinced I found that much gold. I'd love to know what you think. Did I find treasure, and do you think it was worth it? So here is my haul from day one. I have a few goodies to share with you. I also happened to pick up a little bit of a cold while I was out and about. So please excuse my voice. I didn't want to wait. I just really was excited to share all of the goodies that I found. First up, I have this beautiful vintage ribbon. I love the color of this. There's not a lot of it, but there is enough to use on some cards and maybe a junk journal. It's super pretty design too. I feel like I could color this too with mist if I needed to. Next up, I found these packs of cards. These are brand new. There's 6 inside, and I chose a couple of different designs with the idea that I could use them as they are, obviously, or I could add cardstock and embellishments to them. So add something on top and use them as a card base. There's also the envelopes inside, so I could even use the envelopes to create an envelope junk journal. Lots and lots of possibilities. For $1 each for 6, I couldn't go past them. I also found these 2 beautiful Christmas cards. I loved this sentiment and that it was like on a cream background. And I also love this. How pretty is this? They're not written in, they are brand new, and I feel like it was maybe 20 cents. Wasn't very much at all. This one did come with an envelope, so I'm thinking these will end up in my Christmas junk journal. I am determined this year to actually make it. I've been wanting to make a Christmas junk journal for the longest time ever. This is the year that it's going to happen. Next up, you know, I was on the hunt for a little golden book, and on day one I found 3. I was actually really surprised I found so many, and this one I love, and it was only $1. I actually really enjoy this story. So as soon as I saw it, I snapped it up. It's in beautiful condition, like almost new. It is in such good nick. This one though, this one here is not. This one's in a bit of bad shape, but I bought it for a reason. It's been scribbled in as well. It's not looking good, but I have never made a junk journal before from a little golden book. And I have been watching some tutorials on YouTube, but I kind of wanted one that I could practice on. So I'm going to probably do this book first, and then if it all goes pear-shaped, I haven't really lost much. Some of the pages are still good, and I'll be able to use those if it does go pear-shaped. But I thought if it's really bad and it's a big problem, nothing lost if I use this one as my test. Next up, I found this. I am in love with this. This is a vintage music sheet book. It was only $2, and the best bit is this is actually 30 centimeters. So just over 30 centimeters, 12 inches, which means it's going to fit on a scrapbook page, which I'm pretty excited about. I love too, the designs are very simple. I was looking for one that did have quite a simple and like black and white design. So yeah, I really like the look of this one. I'm very excited to use this. So that's all the goodies from day one. It was a little bit of a slow start, and I was a little bit worried about that, but I do still love everything that I've got. Let's jump into day number 2. So here's day 2's stash, and I've got some unexpected finds to share with you. Let me start. Where do I start? I think perhaps with these. This is the box of beads I managed to gather from the bead shop, the secondhand thrift shop that had all of those boxes of beads. And this was the most fun ever. I loved digging through those boxes to find all kinds of pretty elements that I'll be able to add to my junk journals. You can see the aesthetic that I'm going with here, can't you? All pastels, all pretty, love hearts, lots and lots of bows. So, so cute. Even this one, look at this one. How cute is this? And it was a flat rate. So I think this was $10 and you could put as many as you could fit into this container for $10. And of course I filled it up. The thing I loved the most about this was that I was able to hand pick each and every single bead. And if I wanted one, I could just get one. I didn't need to buy a whole big bag of every single style. It was really, really fun to dig through everything and fill up my container. I even got a cute little bunny. Isn't he cute? And then of course the bows, I've got pearls, lots and lots and lots to play with in this box. This day seemed to also be a bit of a day for vintage trims and fabric, and I was able to get this piece of fabric which I want to use in my Christmas album. I also managed to get this lace. I really didn't want this much, but it was how it came. And I think at this stage I had only found that one other piece of lace. So I wasn't sure how much would be around. So I thought, well, why not grab that? I also got this. This is beautiful. This is going to be the cover of some kind of journal or book. So for example, it's going to go like this. I'm actually going to look at this edge. So it's going to end up being some kind of cover for a junk journal. I think that's beautiful. I can't wait to use that. I think that was like $2. Yeah, $2. I also got this little bag of ribbon that had some pretty little bits and pieces in it. I really like this. It's like a, I don't know, like a pleat. That's the word I'm looking for. Pleated ribbon. Really thought that was pretty. Some basic thin white lace, some thicker lace, and then a couple of other designs. This one here. I like white too because you do have the option to dye it with like ink or alcohol markers. You've got lots of options, lots of ways that you can dye ribbon to coordinate with your project. So white's always good. I also got this cute little doily, which I will end up using at some point for $1. It's got a pretty pattern on it. And then on to the books. Now, have you noticed there's no paper? That's because there was no paper to be found anywhere. It was so frustrating. But I did find more little golden books. I also got this very cute pink lace. Again, it's quite a large amount, but I didn't want to leave it behind because it was cute. The golden books I got here were a little bit older, and guess what? I ended up getting one in a much better condition than the original cat book. So still the plan will stay the same. I do have my test run to do on that one, and then if I love it, I can redo it with this one. This one's beautiful too. This one's really vintage, and I'm actually thinking of not doing anything to it and just keeping it because it is really, really sweet. It's a really sweet one. And then I found this one, which is classic. And it's in very good condition as well. So I feel good about pulling this one apart too. So that's those. Now I was also on the hunt for some thread, and I couldn't find any just by itself, but these packs of things did keep coming up. And I thought, well, you know what? For 50 cents, it doesn't matter if I don't end up using the embroidery part and I just take it for the thread part. So 50 cents for all of that thread is a good deal, and I really love the colors in that. So super happy with that. And to go with the thread, I also picked up the floss cards. So these were only $1, and I do have my floss drawer is actually quite a mess. So in a perfect world where I had lots and lots of time, I am going to wind this thread into its own colors and stack it really nicely. That's the plan. And that's everything from day 2. Here's my haul from day 3, and it was a cracker of a day. I'm so excited about all of these goodies, starting with this washi tape. I do believe this is a Kmart washi tape, but all of them were just $1. I use this a lot for securing, stitching, and just in the workings of my project. So it's super handy to pick up really cheap. I also found paper. For the first time, I found some 12 by 12 paper, and it was this pack here. It's a shame they are cut in half, and it's a bit of a mystery bag because I cannot see what's in there. I tried to look. I can see a couple of prints, but because it was the only 12 by 12 inch paper that I found all week, I knew I had to get it. So I hope there's something that I can work with in here, and I'm a little bit nervous about it. I also found this. How cute is this? There's a swan on the front. It's just a box, but it's a cardboard box. I think it had a crystal in it. I think that's the Crystal brand, isn't it? So I would like to, this was 50 cents, I would like to make this a mini album box. So I want to make a mini album that fits inside this box. I am just hoping that there is a pattern paper in here that will match this yellow, or that will go with the yellow in some way. So we will have to find out. I also, in the same shop, this and this came from the same store, and look at this. It's a huge roll of lace for $5. I did not need all of this, but that's how it came. Isn't it pretty? So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it all, but I think it's beautiful. I also found this. This is a 12 by 12 canvas sheet, which I quite like. It's not got sticky on it or anything. It's just canvas. So I thought we could chop that up. I could also use this. I do slow stitching. I never share it online, but I do slow stitching. And I thought this could be a really nice base for one of those as well. It was just $1. I also found this. This is card. It's a 10 pack of kind of like a basil card. It's a weave texture. It's very neutral. I wish it were white, but it could be worse. And this might work, especially if there's something fun in here. Oh, I'm so nervous. So we will see, we will see. I also was able to grab a bunch of other little bits and bobs here. These buttons I picked up because at this point I had not found any buttons, and I was really nervous about not having any buttons to choose from. This was the only pack they had in the entire store, and it was the only pack I had seen until I found this lot. So I snapped them up. See, that's looking cute now, isn't it? With the brown and the yellow. In the lace even too, maybe. It's not out of the realms of possibility. I also found all of these buttons, and I had to get them all. I didn't buy every single pack they had, but I bought a lot of the packs. This one I love for Christmas. I was just channeling that Christmas junk journal. Oh, it's definitely going to have some plaid. I do love the sparkle of this one, so I had to grab those. I also love this brown. I love that. I thought that would go really nicely. Even some of these warmer browns could tie in together nicely. And then I found this green pack as well. So I do love those. I also found, interestingly, I actually found these sequins before I found the yellow box. And I thought that's not too bad. That's a pretty close match. So I'm very happy with that. I also picked up this for the thread. I'm actually keen to open this because it looked like it would be pretty colors. It's not been started. Yeah, how pretty is that? I actually really love the color of the mat too, and the color of that thread. Really, really beautiful. I hope there's lots in there. It's to create a little bag like this but I am just going to use this thread on my projects. I also found these. These are from IKEA originally, 50 cents. I am not sure how much they would be at IKEA. That might not have been a bargain, but they're super cute, and I really was on the hunt for paper. So these were paper, and I love the heart one. I think it's super cute, and I think, yes, it will fit in here. So if I made one of my cute little tag mini albums or something like that, I could add one of these to the front. I also found this one fairly early on in the day, and I wasn't entirely sure about it, but I thought it might be handy. It is a mini album. I'm not sure about this building. I think it looks a bit weird, but I thought I could trim this off here and turn this into a house and make this a cute little mini album about our new home. I'm not super sure about it. We'll have to wait and see. I also did find another little golden book. I actually ended up finding more of these than I thought. This one was only 50 cents and it's again in really good nick. So I'm excited to add that to my stash. After day 3, I was certainly feeling a lot more confident in the supplies that I had. I feel like now I've got something that I can actually work with. So that's a relief. I almost forgot to open the paper and I want to do that with you. So let's see what I got here. Oh, let's hope there's some pretty patterns in here. Let's see. Okay. There's a sheet of, I want to say that's acetate that's been run through an embossing folder. Okay, green. It's very green. Okay. Actually, I'll go and get the box so we can match it. Here we go. This is what we're hoping to coordinate with. Like, I mean, the green goes. I just don't know whether it goes with the other things. So here's the vibe I'm thinking with the cream and the yellow and the brown. The green does go. It's not the worst. It's just a bit bright. Okay. Trees. Oh, there's lots of trees. Yellow. Is it just like 2 pieces of paper? Oh, this is good. Okay. That's a winner. I'm loving that. Okay, green. I'm not recognizing this brand either. It's not like super great quality, just standard sort of. I feel like it's paper from one of those paper pads maybe. Okay. This is good. Oh, why is there not 4 pieces of those? There's 4 pieces of these other things. The birds. Okay, what else? This kind of reminds me of Sassafras. Do you remember that brand? That's a very old brand. Oh, this is cute. I don't know about the red, but I don't hate it. It's much better than some of these other choices. See, why is there so many of those and only one of the good ones? What else? Blue, no. Okay. Oh, yes, look, it is on a paper pad. I don't think this is expensive paper at all. That's okay. Oh, and there's several of those. So maybe, I think these 2 are going to save me. Oh, this is cute. I actually don't mind that. I don't know whether it matches, but I don't mind that. So maybe if we kept that and ditched that one. I do have 2 sheets of that one though. Okay. Maybe we ditch the orange. Or maybe we keep the orange. That's not too bad. And then more butterflies. Is that it? Is that going to be it? Oh, that is it. Okay. These are all no's for me. These are all way too busy. They're not patterns that I would choose. Yeah, I don't think I can make any of those work. So maybe I can add some other things in with that from my own stash. I'm still using the paper. Thank goodness these two are here. I could definitely make that work. Here's what I found on day 4, and I think these are some of the oldest supplies I was able to find. Do you remember making memories? I saw this and I was just immediately transformed down memory lane. I'm pretty sure I even had a set of these back in the day. I paid 50 cents and they were out in 2007. So 18 years old. And look at them. There's no yellowing at all. They look like they're in brand new condition. So I'm actually excited mostly about this one because I think it could work for the front of our mini album. I also had to get these because they were super cute and something a little bit different. I feel like $2 is maybe a lot for them, but it was from a church group and I thought, you know what, it's a donation if nothing else. I love this guy. He would be super cute for my Christmas album. There's another little guy on the back. So we'll see. I thought that was cute. I did get some more lace and I love the widths of today's lace. Look how wide and beautiful this one is. That's so pretty and it goes really well with this one. How lovely is that? So they're nice and I'll be able to use those in a journal for sure. I also found this little pack which had this really cute Christmas sort of ribbon and I thought I'll grab that as well as this vintage ribbon. Isn't that pretty? This is actually one of my favorite things I got all week. I think that's so sweet. So that's that. Here's some little embroidery pieces that have obviously been cut from something. And I thought they might be cute in an album, or again, I might be able to use them in my slow stitching. So they're fun. They were only $1. So I'm not sure why this was $1 and this was $2 with the 2 pieces of ribbon, but then this one was $2. But that's okay. I also found these 2 simple white ribbons and I grabbed those as well. I like the width of this one and that it's a little bit creamier. It's not white, it's actually cream. In my hunt for a stamp, I found it very difficult to find anything that I liked even remotely. There wasn't very many stamps around to start with, and then of the stamps that were there, they were awful. So I did manage to find this one, which is a very cute and simple little holly, which I will use. I also found these page protectors, and these are the ones that I cut up to create shaker pockets with. I've made mini albums out of these as well. I've already got a bunch, but I thought, you know what, for $2, I will grab these as well. What I liked about these is that they have different shapes, more unusual shapes. A lot of the ones that I have are very 6x4 focused, whereas these had some smaller rectangles and some smaller squares to work with. So I thought that was worth it. Speaking of vintage, I have these 2 finds to share. This one is from 2005 and it's really they're just brown squares, but I thought they would be cute as tab pulls for the sides of an album. Or in my shadow box video, when I was opening the shadow boxes, a couple of you suggested that I have some kind of pull mechanism to help the box come out. This could work for that, I think. We will see. For 50 cents, I thought it was worth finding out. And then there was this one. Oh my goodness. I actually ummed and ahed about getting this for the longest time. And the only reason I bought it was because on my list of things that I wanted to get was a tool. I really thought it would be so easy to find a paper punch, some kind of craft tool, and this is it. This is all I could find in 4 days of hunting. So I have never used this. It is complete, unopened. Who knows what year it's from or where it's been, because it is looking rough. If I was able to find any working punch, there is no way I would have bought this. I'm worried. Is this going to work? Let's find out. Well, fortunately, inside it's in obviously brand new condition. I'm going to have to read these instructions. This mat was the depth of the... Is this my cutting mat? Maybe it does come with a cutting mat. Okay, so clearly I have no idea what I'm doing. I could not get this to work. So I will have to watch some YouTube tutorials. In the meantime, if you have one of these and actually know how to use it, please leave me your tips in the comments. I have a confession. When I planned this video, I really thought creating with the supplies I'd find would be easy. It wasn't. I had way less choice than I ever imagined, but that means I just have to be even more creative. So let's dive in. I've got 3 projects to share, starting with a mini album to fit inside that pretty yellow little box. So I've done a little bit of prep work and I do have a plan now. I found this pattern paper from Maggie Holmes' Market Square collection and I really love the colours in that. So I'm going to work with that. This yellow is very bright and I do want to tone it down a little bit if I can. So I'm going to go with this beautiful shade of green, and I have gone ahead and trimmed this pattern paper to fit inside the lid here, and I am just going to fill the base here. Oh, sorry, this is the lid. Fill the lid here with this pattern paper. And then I also have this piece, which is cut slightly smaller to fit the base of the box. And that's going to cover up a lot of the yellow, which will help. It's a really pretty yellow, and I actually really love creating with yellow, but I just feel like it's a lot. It's a lot of yellow, and that's so much better. And now it's really just a box with the swan on it. I do need to do something with the base here, and I may end up adding in a little bit more of this paper just on the bottom there to cover up that mess. I probably will end up doing that as well there. For inside the box, I have made this cute little mini album. So the outside cover is from that woven cardstock that I picked up. I originally thought I might do just a 3-inch album, and it does fit quite nicely in there. But I know from past experience when I make albums like this that they end up being very chunky. So I really wanted something that had more of a like a book feel to it. So I then mocked up this. This I believe is 1 inch, or sorry, half an inch wide, and now when I put my papers in it, it's still going to sit quite flat. So it is a little bit short of the box, but I actually like that because this was actually quite hard to get in and out once it was in there. So I do like that this has a little bit of space for you to pop your hand in and grab it out. Now I do need to assemble this. I'll show you how I'm going to do that without any stitching. So I found this pattern paper in my stash, and it's not the same yellow, it's more muted, but I quite like that about it. And then I've gone ahead and found some coordinating paper scraps. This is from my stash, and this one is that same green that we've been working with. And this one, this is from the paper pack. I still do have this one. I'm just feeling like when I use this, it's too heavy, too much brown. So I figure as long as I include this, I have used some of the paper from that paper pack. And then I have repeated that pattern to make the rest of the book. So there's 2 sheets that are in there as it is. And I do have this little strip left, which we might be able to do something with on some of the other pages. Like I might be able to add in a strip of that down the side or something, just to include a little bit more of it. So let's assemble. Now you could do like a bookbinding technique and stitch these into the spine, but I don't want to do that because that takes a lot of time. So I'm actually going to glue these together, and I need to stop talking because my voice is getting worse. So what I might do is show you one of them, and then I'll go ahead off camera and do the rest. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here, and then I'm going to line them up back to back. And they are all the same size, so they will stack really easily in together. So you end up with that. And then we want to rinse and repeat. So the next one goes on here. And it ends up being kind of like a fan, I guess. And what happens is you end up creating pages. So page 1, page 2, page 3, then we'll add page 4. And then what I'll do, once I've added all of the pages together, so that's half done. Once I've done that with the other half, then what I can do is glue this piece into the book like so. And what I'll do is I'll only add glue to the outside, to these end pieces, because that will then attach it to the base. But what it will do is it will be not attached into this middle section. It'll only be attached on the front and back cover, if that makes sense. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I might get to some basic decorating. I will rest my voice and I'll come back with something that's a little more complete for you. So I was thinking, now that I have this textured cardstock, it makes sense to create a card. And what better card to create than a fun fold one? And I thought we'd create this one together. Here's a look at the card I'll be creating. Now this one is called a WV card, I believe, because there is a fold that is a W at the top here, and then this one is a V. And I'll show you how to pop this together. For the card base, we need a piece that is 5 1/4 by 11. So let's do 5 1/4. By 11. That looks good. For this top section, you'll need a piece that is 3 by 6. Do I have 6? Yes. And now 3. Okay, it's time to add our scores. This one is very simple. You just want to score it at 3 inches, so it will go in half. For the card base, we need to make several scores. The first one is at 1 3/4. The next one is at 3 1/2. The next one is at 5 1/4. And the next one is at 7. Now I have a mini Score Buddy, so I don't have a 7. So I am going to flip this around and score at 4. Now we want to create a fold that is a W. So the easiest way I found to remember this is to remember that this is the back of the card. So I am going to fold that inwards like so. That's the back of the card. So when you close the card, that's the back part. So then it's just a matter of alternating the folds. So like a fan. And then this will create our W. So what you'll end up with is a mountain, a valley, and a valley, like so, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And then what happens is we're going to cover all of this with some pretty paper, and then this will be what attaches to the front here and here to create the card like so. So what I'm going to do next is grab a bunch of papers to mount each of these sections, and I'll be back. So I have gone ahead and trimmed out all of the papers that I need. This one is the music sheet from the op shops, and of course so is my cardstock. And then this one is one from my stash, which I thought was really, really pretty and coordinated really, really well. Now you're going to want these measurements. These ones are 1 5/8 by 5 1/8. So that's those four. And then this back panel is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I will create a project sheet for this one with all of the measurements, and I will link that below. For the 3 by 3 section, this one is 2 7/8 square, and then I have cut this vellum just 1/7 of an eighth shorter so that there is a border around the edge, because I do want to include vellum on the card. I have a plan for the front. I have also cut out this sentiment. I am just going to keep this really simple and let all of the papers do the work. So I'll show you this front section, and then I have something fun I'm going to do for this back section. You could absolutely just add one layer of paper and keep this card really simple, but I want to show you how you can do something a little extra. So that's the pattern paper. Now, vellum does not like liquid adhesive, so I'm going to go with tape adhesive, and I need to hide it behind my sentiment so that we can't see it. So what I'll do first is tape the sentiment to the vellum, and then that will show me exactly where I can put my glue. I have cut this die. This one is from Altenew, and I have cut out the base twice and then the text there 3 times and just layered them on top of each other just for some added dimension. Okay, let's center this and then center this. That's cute. And then I can flip this over and I can put my tape on the back here and know exactly where it needs to stop and start. There we go. Very cute. So that's going to end up going here. And then I can go ahead and pop all of these on. So I'm just going to glue them in place. Really simple. I'm going to glue them alternating so that it looks like that. And then this background, I want to show you that. I have cut a piece of vellum for this as well. And I thought what I would do is I'm actually going to stitch around the edge of this, and I'm going to pop some little sequins in here and create a bit of a shaker pocket for this background. What I also found was this. This is like an acetate butterfly, and I'm actually going to pop that in there as a bit of a shaker element as well. I think as a shaker element. Part of me's thinking too that what I could do is I could strategically glue it to the background. So it's going to go like that. I haven't got it quite square. We'll make it perfect. And then this is obviously going to go here. So if I placed it strategically, I could place it so that it's a little bit of a surprise when you open up the card. I think I might do that. I think I might just audition it and make sure that I'm going to cover it. See, that looks good, doesn't it? And then when you open it, it's there, and then it will have all the shaker components inside as well. So let me go and do that. I'll add stitching around 3 sides, pop in my sequins, and then stitch up the top edge. And I'll do that all very separate to the card base, and then I will stick this onto the card base. So I'll go ahead and do all of that, and I'll show you the finished. Oh, actually, then what I'll do is I'll show you how we glue this into position, because I want to show you how you do that, because it is a little bit tricky. So we'll get to that point and then I'll come back. Here's how it's looking so far. Super cute. So here's the back shaker pocket part. And you can still see the butterfly in there, and you can see the little shaker sequins. And then I'm alternating music, florals, music, florals. So it's now time to attach the front part, which sort of pulls everything together. So the first thing you'll want to do is add a little bit of glue just on this edge here. And then what I will do is I'll place it very centered. So I want the edge of this to be quite centered, and it comes quite a ways over this way. So I'm thinking about there. That feels good. So what I'll do is I'll hold this in place. I'll just make sure this is straight. Let me just check that this is nice and square. Yes, it's looking good. Okay, I'll hold this side down so that I can flip this open. And I will add the liquid glue just along this edge. Oop. And then we'll place that down and hold it into position just for a minute. That's looking very secure. Now, to secure the other side in place, what I will do is I will just flip over this entire front section. So all of the zigzag folds are over, and we now have the card nice and flat at the back. And then I will add the glue down this side here. And then press that into position. The card should sit flat once that's stuck down. So as long as the card sits flat, you are good to go. Here's the finished look, and here's how it opens. It does stand on its own, which I really love. You could display it on a side table. And then to add your sentiment, I would add it for this card because I've got this happening here. I'm going to keep things very simple and pop my sentiment and my little message here. You can take this idea in lots of different directions, and I found it really fun to make. I am absolutely loving this pattern paper from my thrift stash, and this cardstock, it is just a plain craft color, but it's turned out super versatile. So we've just made the card together and it turned out super cute. I want to show you two other projects that I made with these supplies. So first up we have the cute little swan box, and I really struggled with this one actually. I did mock up several little covers for it, like this one, which does slide out, sort of similar to the shadow box that I just made. But I don't know, I didn't really love that. I had a couple of goes at it. I think I just really like the yellow and the box as it is. So all I have done is added that same pattern paper to the base, and then the inside, top and bottom. But inside is the cute little mini album, and I layered a piece of that lovely vintage lace, like so. And I want to show you these. This is that leftover grid design paper and some of the music sheet paper and some of the buttons. And I've created these really cute little embellishments. You'll see them in action on this mini album here. So I've added those, and then I created this little cluster of embellishments. It's even got some of the music paper on the background, and this is part of the washi tape that came from this washi tape stack. That's that one there, and it's really cute, such a cute little touch. So that sits in the top there, and then here is the mini album. I've tied some string to the side and added one of the shiny buttons, and then just kept the cover really simple with that same pattern paper, and then just a butterfly and a couple of sentiments to decorate. The inside pages are all empty at this stage. I have not started adding photos to any of that. I just wanted to get this finished and show you. I think I'll add in some photos of Caitlin into here. So yeah, so that's that. And I think it turned out really, really cute. You can see how the binding works. So none of the inside of the pages are touching the spine. It's just all glued in place because this is glued to the base and then this page is glued to this page and so on and so forth until you have the full book. I think this is super cute. It's going to be a very sweet little gift. And then this goes like this goes like this, and then these all fit very neatly in here. So yeah, still not sure entirely what to do with the box, but for now it's going to stay just like that. On to the mini tag album, and these, I love making these. I've made a few of these already on the channel, and I do have a step-by-step class that you can order. I'll leave a link to that if you'd like to make one of your own. And I've just really grabbed a bunch of the supplies and stacked them together to make this really cute mini album. So you'll see there is the music paper and then the vintage button that I've used to create the embellishment. This is one of the tags that I found. And then even this backing paper here, that is actually a paper scrap of that grid paper. I have used up every single scrap of that paper. That was probably the one paper in that stack that I did actually like. So yes, here's another button and floral piece. And then this is just like a cute little die cut piece. I have, oh, this ribbon. So this lace here, this ribbon, that came from the Op Shop finds. And I've added that in a couple of places here. I've then added on another of the little heart tags, and that's some of that washi tape. And you just flip through and see all of the little elements added together. Another one of those florals and more washi. This is the craft cardstock that I managed to grab. I've used up a bunch of it too, actually. It was funny because at the time there was 2 packs of that, and I thought, oh, I don't need both. And now I'm wishing I had have got the second pack. Yeah, because it was, I think it was $2. It was great. So yeah, lots of little bits and pieces. This, let me find this to show you. This one I've actually cut from this die set from Scrap Diva Designs. It's called Scallop Tags, and they're really, really pretty. I love this die set. I've used this over and over again. I'll link to that below too. And so that's that one. I love the little detail. See how it adds when you close the album. See how it adds a lovely little texture and a little detail. Really, really cute. Now this is a shaker pocket that I created with those photo sleeves. Remember this pack of photo page protectors? Well, there was several different designs in the pack actually. They weren't all the same. And I did find one that was quite big, and I thought, why not create a shaker pocket just to show you what that would look like. Ideally, I would probably put a photo here, but just for the demonstration and just for fun, putting the album together, I thought I would show you it as it is. So there is the lace on the inside as well as the music paper. And those sequins, they're the sequins that I found as well. So I'm able to use quite a few of the pieces that I've found just in this one tag. I then finished off the album with a couple of emptier tags. I do plan obviously on popping photos and things on here, and I'm going to finish that out. This one here I want to show you too. This is that same tag, but I wanted it to be shorter. So all I did was trim off the top of the tag and then added my own hole punch. And didn't that turn out cute? I really, really love this mini. I love making these. I've made 100 of them, and it was fun to just pull out those supplies and get creating. That's a wrap on my thrift store craft adventure. I may not have found everything on my wish list, but I was able to transform some unexpected supplies into projects I'm really proud of. Let me know in the comments which of the projects I created today did you like the most. Mini albums for me will always have my heart because they're the perfect project for using up unexpected craft supplies, especially those paper scraps you have hiding in your stash. Whether you're a total beginner or a mini album making pro, you'll want to watch this video next. I share 15 of my absolute favorite mini albums that you can create with the supplies you already have. Click it to watch and I'll see you there. Until next time, bye!